star 2.
So for map stage availability, you can always go to photalmap.kaiser.com for system availability information. There are no maintenance right now on map stage environment. Upcoming map stage maintenances are on 13th of August. That will be infrastructure maintenance, potential brief interruption. 14th of August, the DRRS, UI, and API will undergo maintenance. Map stage general weekly maintenance window is on Friday.
Hi, Ashman. This is Chunyu from PG&E. Can you go back to the last page?
Sure.
So August 13, you're going to take the environment down, or it's only going to be in the morning from
Correct.
6 to 9 a.m.?
6 to 9 a.m. Correct.
Okay, so from 9 to 6, it's going to be up and running.
Correct.
Okay.
Only during the morning time, like early morning.
Thank you.
Hey, Anshuman, this is Rani from SCE. On the previous slide, you have 8/14 as the maintenance date. Is it going to be down for the whole day?
Do we have Eureka on the call to answer this question, or Trang?
Hi, this is Trang. So thanks, Sonia, for the question. So for the DRS, UI, and API, the releases that we have in the queue shouldn't require an outage. And we're still, we're targeting that as the earliest available, the earliest date to take that deployment. But since these are not fixes that are needed for MarketSim, that may shift into the next week. But if we do take that, the expectation is that the environment will not be down the whole day for that deployment, but more just during the implementation, so within an hour or so.
Thank you. That helps.
Okay, thanks. And then I do see a question from Bob about CMRI, UI, and API availability. So I will just address that, where currently in the map stage environment, all systems are available, but CMRI does not have the fall code yet. That is planned for August 17th to have the new fall CMRI changes available in the map stage environment. So I hope that helps clarify. So CMRI in map stage is available, just does not have the fall changes yet. Okay. All right. Thanks, Anshuman.
Thank you, Trang, for the update. These are our initiatives and timelines. This week, we're going to do structured scenario testing on automated dispatch system replacement, ADS replacement, tomorrow, 11th of August. And then day after tomorrow, we're going to do dispatch operating target tariff clarification, DOTT project. And also, FERC order number 841 requested adjustment will be performed day after tomorrow on 12th of August. REST projects simulation start dates are listed on the page. You could always find market simulation plan in the following location. Any questions here?
Hey, Anshuman, this is Kurt Blake.
Hi,
go ahead. Hi. So in the last 2 hours, I have been trying to load a configuration into ADS, web ADS. And after 10 to 15 minutes, I just get tired of waiting for it to load. I close it and try it again. This has been for 2 hours now. I have tried it on my home machine through my high-speed internet. I've tried it on my PG&E work machine through the PG&E VPN, and I'm trying it through Citrix on my device right now, which is hard connected to the PG&E network. And I cannot load a new configuration. I've had a lot of trouble this weekend with ADS. Now, I'm assuming there's nobody there monitoring it. I don't know what the status is, so I don't know if I should be reporting a problem or if it's, what it is. But configurations are changing on me. They're not loading as I save them. I sat there for an hour and I got no 5-minute dispatches, and everything showed connected. After not receiving any 5-minute dispatches, I restarted ADS, and then the 5-minute dispatches came up as idle. Not sure what that means, why I wasn't getting anything. I just assumed that nobody is there watching it. Not enjoying this at all. And you want to go ahead with this testing tomorrow, and I don't even know if I can load my test configuration right now.
Thank you, Curtis, for that question. Let me just bring up, let me just bring up this slide where we're discussing the known issues for ADS and some troubleshooting steps that we have. I'm sorry.
Hey, Ashman, this is Rick Lamb.
Yes,
I'd like to kind of understand a little bit more about what Kirk is experiencing with the configuration. I think this is something that we may need to evaluate, because I know we've been looking at the connection issues in the previous week. But for the configuration that you're trying to load, I'd just like to understand, maybe we can do it offline as well, to see what kind of issues you're seeing and then the kind of tests that you're performing, because this may be helpful for us to understand how it may be impacting other users as well. So, Kirk, do you think it would make sense for us to work offline after this meeting?
I'd be happy to.
Okay, great. So Curtis and I will reach out to you after this, and I want to kind of go through the scenarios like we did the last time when we did the connectivity troubleshooting, and that was very helpful.
Yeah.
So I'd like to also perform the same type of test for this particular configuration that you're having issues with.
Certainly. I'm at your beck and call.
Okay, great. And also the idle status that you typically see on the ADS application, that tells us that the market data is not streaming to ADS. So if there's no data for a period of time, I think it's like 1 hour, the status will be idle. So typically, if you see idle, it means that we're not getting any data from the market system.
For the last hour.
Correct.
Or at least an hour. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that definition. I appreciate that.
Great. So yeah, I'll touch base with you after the meeting then. Thanks, Kurt.
Hi, Ashman. This is Chen Yu. Just giving.
Go ahead, Chen.
We're still going to have the structure tomorrow?
Yes, we are still planning to have the structured simulation tomorrow. We have dispatched we have deployed all the fixes in ADS, and we're supposedly nobody should be having issues now. Well, let me pull up a slide where we're talking about known issues and troubleshooting tips to access ADS. So what we have seen in few of the issues across customers is you're having issues with your firewall settings. So there are these following steps that you could do. Clear the browser, cache and cookies. Pop-up blockers on your browser may lead to issues accessing KaiSo ADS. And the one troubleshooting tip that worked for a lot of people is that if you whitelist the KaiSo domain, kaiso.com, on your Chrome, your settings, you would be able to access ADS with no issues. There's also one more step that's not listed here, and just to confirm that you have firewall issues, you could always go to Chrome in incognito mode and try loading the ADS application. That has worked for one of the market participants. This will at least give you a direction that is it a firewall issue on your end, or is there something else? Are there any questions here?
Yeah, this is Josh Arnold from PG&E. I have a couple quick clarifying questions on all that. First question, are these known steps and known issues published anywhere other than the slides? I'm trying to remember.
No, these are listed just on slide right now.
Okay, that does represent, going back to Kurt's issues over the weekend, that does represent a bit of a logistical issue. If people are trying to do testing outside of what we can call a formal window with your structured tests, if we're trying to do connectivity testing, if we're trying to do things and we're receiving errors and we don't know why, this becomes very frustrating. So I'm wondering if it might be useful to somehow publish a list of known issues that are updated in near real time. And once you're aware of them, they get published to someplace, at least with a status process. So we know if there are issues like that. Also, a list of workarounds like you just described, having that in writing somewhere also helps considerably. Because if we are having issues, especially as a large corporation, that's sometimes something we can take to our IT groups and say, hey, the CISO says these might be problems. Can you help me check?
Hey, Josh.
Does that make sense?
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Josh. This is Prince here from the ISO.
Hey, Prince.
Actually, hey, how are you? These tips, if you will, that we presented on the prior slide were items that we had gotten from some discussions with PG&E last week.
Oh, I understand that. But
okay.
Just having a discussion with PG, yes, we might not be aware, but let's say another entity is having similar problems.
Sure. Yeah. Let me finish off my line.
Sure. I'm sorry.
So, we've this morning collated that list and have sent it over to our service desk for their information, so that if anybody were to call in, they would be able to advise of these steps. Additionally, we are currently working on a Bronto message to be sent out to all map stage users, so that irrespective of whether you're facing the issue or not, we're just going to send the information over. All of this information has been collated this morning, and we are working on distributing that as we speak.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so the issue here is not so much that it has been published, it's the turnaround time, which, let's be fair, if you just had the conversation that identified these, you're well within turnaround time. So at that point, I think you've done appropriate work. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't understand the full scope on that.
No worries. We're also responding, as we're getting the information and trying to get this info out as quickly as possible. But we have multiple avenues, and I think it's part of the thing here. I mean, we wanted to get this out on the slide deck as soon as possible while we're working on the Bronto message and advising our service desk staff and so on.
Okay, that's entirely fair. Thank you for that. That's a good clarification. So yeah, definitely good. I hear Kurt's frustration, and I remember my own frustrations from simulations in the past where we're trying to figure something out. But I think that's a reasonable expectation that you have the time to do this through multiple avenues and do it properly. Thank you for that. That's a good clarification.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you for your input. And I would also like to take this opportunity to say, if you're having any issues, please don't get frustrated. Just log us a ticket, and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
So I guess, Ashman, this is Chenyu. I still looking for answer for a question I have. So let's say if the configuration issue does not resolve today, will the market sim still, the structure still going to go on tomorrow? Just a general question. Yeah.
General question. That's a very good question, and I'm sure it's on everybody's mind. If we are having issues and are not resolved by today, and we're not able to continue with our testing on tomorrow, we can do this project testing. And I don't want to quote a date here right now, but we do have a couple of slots available this week and probably the next week that we can try to accommodate any further testing for this project.
I see.
I'm hoping to fix all the issues today, and they should not linger till tomorrow.
Sounds great. Okay.
I do want to. Sorry. Go ahead and finish. I was going to ask a question after you're done.
No. You go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm just looking for answer.
Okay. So this is Rick Lamb again. I just want to understand whether the ADS configuration issue is impacting the functionality that you're testing, or is this a matter of trying to validate the configuration feature itself? Because the configuration is really more of a customization on the user's screen, but the ADS application doesn't necessarily in terms of functionality-wise, doesn't get impacted if the configuration does not work?
I've got 350 resources. You want me to just use one generic real-time screen to try to capture these events when they happen during the structured testing. I developed screens so that I can easily maneuver and capture the screenshots and whatever information I need to validate everything you want to do during the structured testing.
Okay.
That's
great.
my issue.
Okay.
And this is something that just popped up today. Okay? So I'm just asking you, do you got a problem today? Do you see a problem tomorrow? What's going on? Why all of a sudden did this pop up? And along with, I was getting kicked out a lot this weekend. Just moving back and forth and seeing my configuration change, and I wasn't even doing anything to it. It is bothersome to me, and now I don't know what to expect during this testing. So I'd like to get some of this stability issue in the system worked out before we move too far forward.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So I just need that feedback so that I can understand the context of how the issue is impacting the testing. But that's something that we can look into this afternoon.
Yeah. If I may, are you using? I'm sorry. If I may, are you using the same certificate to log on to multiple computers at the same time? Because if you do,
I am not logging in at the same time on any computer. I am trying it on 3 different computers, but I am only logging into one at a time because I know we had the issue before where I had instances open on different computers and it was locking in those instances on your servers. So I have not been doing that. I've been very careful to always close the application using the exit in the application, not just closing down Chrome. It was just something we found out was contributing, I believe, to that issue. But I'm only using one at a time.
All right, thank you
for
that.
This is Jamie speaking, and thank you, Rick, for chiming in here. I think this definitely warrants another call. I appreciate you raising those. Those are very concerning behaviors. We've not seen that in our testing, so now we have a lot of different variables. We need to track these things down and make sure that we have confidence in the overall system before we start doing the special scenarios. So with that, I'd like to just hear from others if people are successfully connecting to the UI or via the API over the internet and over the ECN, and to give me a sense of how it's going overall. And then we may choose to delay the market simulation scenarios based on what I'm hearing right now. So are there other shops who have had more success to date with connectivity?
Jamie, this is Chunyu. I did not test after last week we spoke. So, I can try after this meeting since I'm not an ADS user and let you know the feedback.
I know we've seen some traffic coming in on our side, right? We can observe some things that look successful on our side. What I don't know is if if others from the outside are seeing that.
All right. Anybody else have any concerns they want to share for ADS right now? All right, moving on. I actually jumped a couple of slides, so don't mind me going back up a little bit and then continuing from there. Okay. So we went through all the concerns for ADS. Just to show this list, these are the known issues that have been reported till now, and only 2 of them are open right now. The continuous alarm change to repeat every X seconds. There was a recommendation for 5 seconds. We're the issue is open right now. We don't have a date of when it will be fixed. We have another issue that is still open, the trajectory grid shrinks. Issue number 7 says the grid auto resize does not work properly. This was also open, and we have an estimated fixed date on 21st of August. These are the troubleshooting tips to access ADS that we just went through. I wanted to also bring to your attention that all the market sim updates are also available on the ISO Settlements Twitter tool. We will not be replacing any existing media communication, but if you have time, please take the opportunity to follow ISO Settlements on Twitter by downloading the Twitter application to any mobile device. Twitter feed can be accessed on any web browser. No account required to view the Twitter feeds and post. There are following updates that were tweeted. And these are the recent tweets. We plan to start the structured testing tomorrow for automated dispatch system replacement as of now. Unless we receive more concerns and we are not able to resolve it by today, then we can discuss about thinking about, a new date.
So, Anshuman, this is Adrian. Let me add to this one. I heard Shinu asking about this. I heard Jamie. We asked the questions from our other market participants to see what their experience was with this one. So it looks like no one is willing to forward that information right now. But I think we'll work towards resolving those configuration issues, obviously. And for now, I think we should keep this, exercise tomorrow as a plan to execute those scenarios for the parties that have no problem connecting to our system and executing their scenarios and following this exercise with us in the market sim environment. Obviously, our goal is to have everyone pass those structure scenarios and feel comfortable and satisfied with those scenarios and the new application. So, in case there are outstanding parties and issues with the ADS scenario, we'll repeat those scenarios until we get the okay from the nod from everyone. But for now, I recommend that we keep the exercise tomorrow unless we find other major problems. And we can discuss tomorrow morning. Keep in mind we have the RUC tomorrow morning, and we can bring this issue again. But for now, Jamie, are you okay with us keeping up the schedule for tomorrow? Try to execute at least a version of the scenarios, at least with some of the participants, and then see if there's need to repeat this at a future date.
Yes, I am. I have confirmation just now that we have several significant customers who are in testing and having success. So I think the further we can just go through, the soonest we can go through them, the better, and then certainly we'll repeat them for anyone else who's having problems. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian and Jamie, for the recommendation and confirmation.
Hi, this is Isaac from SCE. Can I ask a question?
Please go ahead.
Okay, so I think SCE is ready for the structured test tomorrow. So far, our connectivity's been stabilized a little bit over the weekend for us. Just wanted to make sure that the structured scenario test that is only going to be using the resources that we registered for these scenarios, right? So, because I set up specific screens with just those resources. I just want to make sure that is the case.
That is correct. We have made sure that those resources that you have registered with us, they have their bits, and they are defined in the master file, and everything is okay with those resources. You could do the testing with other resources. It's just we haven't made sure that the other resources are available or not.
Okay. Is there a specific time of the day that you'll be issuing the new instruction types? Because the typical market sim is 9 to 6, right? So is there a specific time within that period that you'll be issuing the new instruction types?
So if you look at the market simulation structured scenarios, there are parts of CAISO action and market participant action. We plan to do the CAISO action early in the morning so that you have the rest of the day to validate the market participant actions.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any more questions on this particular project, because we're going to do the structured testing tomorrow for this? So I will welcome more questions on this. Okay, thank you. Moving on. Dispatch operating target tariff clarification project. We will perform market simulation testing day after tomorrow on August 12th. And the structured scenario documents are available on the following webpage. Energy imbalance market enhancement 2020. We're going to do the testing between, the timeline is to July 27 to September 4th. And due to low participation in this project, the structured scenario will now be tested as unstructured with a CAISO issued guide. The structured scenario documents are available on this link. Energy storage and distributed energy resources, phase 3. The structured scenario are scheduled to be performed on August 19th. I have further information regarding the setup that is needed for this particular project. For PDR LSR curtailment, if market participant wants to see only energy award, then submit very cheap energy bids to see the award for this particular resource. If market participant want to see AS award, let's say spin, submit very expensive energy bids and $0 spin bid. For PDR LSR consumption, avoid submitting large negative energy bids. Suggested bid around -$1. Do you have any questions on this?
Yeah, Anshuman, this is Rani again from SCE. We have raised the CD ticket 227154, and it's on the SDR project. We are doing a testing and having issues. Do you have a slot for us on the deck to go to that point, or should we call it out now?
You can call it out now.
Okay, so I have my technical person also on the call. Sai, please chime in if you have to ask the question. So the question is, we are trying to use the retrieve DR locations version 2 of the API, and we are using it in a similar mode that we've used version 1, and additionally giving the change date and the change time as inputs. And we are not seeing any result while retrieving the location records. So what we are having to do is we have seen the documentation and we have looked at the XML structures. It seems that when we pause the date, change date and change time, the XML is looking for the DRP ID also to be passed. So we had a question around that, whether it's really necessary to pass the DRP ID in the XML structure to retrieve records.
Thank you for your question. CAISO technical team, can we answer this question, please? Tia, do you know the answer for this?
Hey, Anshuman. No, Eureka on the line, or Prince from ITPM?
Yes, I'm on the line, but I don't have a response on that.
Okay, do we have Eureka on the line? Okay, seems like our SME is not on the call right now. But since you have already submitted a CEDA ticket, we'll take a look at it today, and we'll get back to you on the response for this.
Yeah, we've also given you the response and the request payloads that were requested in the CD ticket from us. We hope to hear very soon from you because we have very tight timelines for our testing as well.
Okay. This is Trey.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for raising that. And so I do see the city, and I know that it was submitted before, and our team did respond, and it looks like the information that we requested from you was just provided within the last about an hour or so. So I'm confident that our team is looking into that with the latest information in your retry, and then we'll get back to you. But I do confirm that we have the information in the city case. We do see the updates that you made to that. So with that information, we should be able to look into it further. But it is not something that is identified as a known issue yet, so it's not in the presentation, but this has been something that we've been looking at. And again, we were just waiting for the retry that you just did today. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Trang, for the answer. Any more questions on this? All right, moving on. FERC order number 841, requested adjustments. We planning to have structured scenario for this project on August 12th, day after tomorrow. There was a question in the previous call that CAISO will be issuing the EDs. Yes, CAISO will be issuing the EDs that are part of ISO action in the structured scenario documents. So that's the answer for that. Are there any more questions for this project? All right, moving on. Commitment cost and default energy bid enhancement. We don't have any structured scenarios. Market participants are more than welcome to do the testing between July 27 to September 4th. Commitment cost enhancement, tariff clarifications. We don't have structured scenario for this project either. Market participants are welcome to do the testing between July 27 to September 4th. Market settlement timeline transformation. Structured scenario will be performed on 25th of August. MSTT cutover trade date is 24th of August, corresponds to production trade date 1/1/2021. Phase 2, MSTT and excess behind the meter production structured scenario. First settling trade day would be 25th of August. Structured scenario documents are available on the following link. Excess behind the meter production, structured scenarios will be performed on 25th of August. Similar to the last project, the testing will be performed with MSTT project, and the cutover trade date is 24th of August, corresponding to production trade date 1/1/21. The structured scenario first settling trade date is again 25th of August. The next call is scheduled for Thursday, August 13th at 2 p.m. There is always a RUC call tomorrow morning, so any further updates can be found in that call. Now I'll open up for any further questions if you have any. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining the call today and bringing up your concerns. we'll talk again later in the RUG call tomorrow morning. Thank you.